Good evening. Welcome to our today's lesson, online journalism. Today's lesson will deal with the introduction on what is in online journalism. Online journalism is defined as the reporting of facts produced and distributed via the internet. And when you talk of producing this content, we are talking about the content for TV, we are talking about the content for radio, we are talking about the content for TV, we are talking about the content for newspaper, we are talking about the content for magazine. All this content, even books nowadays, it's possible to access them through internet. But as we are talking about it's online, it's journalist reporting via the internet. And a very good example, we have online platform like the New Times publication is on the online platform. We have inyarwanda.com on the online platform. We also have RBA. They usually provide their content via the internet. So all this content is what you're calling of online journalism. And when you talk of distribution, so many news organizations nowadays, they distribute their content online. As somebody said, if you do not embrace change, it will change you. Definitely now, if you are not also online as a media house, you are making yourself obsolete from the general viewership, from the general leadership, from the general listenership. And the Online Association this year published a report that they have over 800 registered journalists who are of course members of the association. And as we know, I'm not saying we do away with the online, with the hard copy platform or the traditional media. It's just you embrace both. You embrace the internet and you also remain with the traditional form of media. And you'll find, for example, inyarwanda.com is exclusively online. They do not produce hard copies for their readers. But other media houses like the New Times publication, they both serve the traditional audience and they also serve the modern audience. So that means they have the News Times publication that is published online. And even if you check like Rwanda TV, they of course have the traditional format of television, but they also embracing the digital platform. If you visit their website, sometimes you're able to view their live programming that is done there. Now, how does internet challenge the traditional order? Because remember, our lesson today is about the internet, and we all know the internet is we know the internet as global network of interconnected computers, enabling users to share information along multiple channels. So when you talk of how the internet is challenging the traditional order, there are several ways that the internet is challenging this order. The first one is on the issue of revenue. If you check, the traditional media was earning a lot of revenue because of advertising, but nowadays advertisers are running away from the traditional format, and some have opened their own online and website channels. You'll find a company with their YouTube channel where they're able to share their adverts. So that means now, instead of concentrating on sending the advert to the mainstream media, they are working with their media team so that they can be producing this media content for their social media sites and of course YouTube channel and their website. So this, in one way or another, is affecting the revenue of the media house. Then of course the audience. Remember, media deal with two products. The first one is the information, and information is consumed by the audience. So you have to be very diverse. In this age, you have to be the best in producing this kind of information so that you have audience, because the other product that the media produces is the audience, and if you don't have the audience, that means you don't have the advertisers, and the advertisers are the people who make the media run in the world. So if you lack audience, that means you also lack advertisers, and that means you'll end up crossing, or you'll be having staffs that are not well motivated because maybe you not have the means to sustain them. That's why you find so many media houses nowadays, unless their management is able to be creative enough to find other sources of revenue, it's becoming very hard. And internet, of course, has challenged this order in terms of the audience. We are competing with so many channels. Even an individual can start his own TV channel on YouTube, and they have audience. And the other, it's not just a negative challenge, it's also a positive one. Now, you don't only reach to your audience that are restricted in a geographical location, you can read to worldwide audience. That's another important thing concerning the internet. Then on terms of competition, there are so many media that has propped up because of the internet. So you are competing with so many other medium that have, of course, come up because of the internet. So you have to be ahead of the pack even when you are producing this content for the online. You'll find that sometimes you're doing a story that has already been posted on the online, like social media. Let's say an accident has happened somewhere, people were there, they were taking photos, so you're likely to find that this story has already been shared in the Facebook. So how do you tell this story in a better way than such that somebody who had seen those photos is able or is willing to read your story as something fresh? So that's where you as a journalist come in to make the story better. And of course, the matter of speed, as we have said, the citizen journalists, of course, they are posing a challenge in terms of the speed of how we report. You have to report in a better way than the rest. So you have to be on the pack, and when it comes to matters of reporting, as I had said, internet is a global network of interconnected computers enabling users to share information along multiple channels. Now, what we know is that the same connection allows that the computer you send information to the servers on the network. So a majority of widely accessible information on the internet consists of interlinked hypertext document and other resources under which we said under the domain www, what we call the World Wide Web. So the internet, were it not for the World Wide Web, we may not be able to access this platform. So it is important we know and understand these things. Now, as a journalist, remember, computer is an essential device. And when you talk of computer, it's because it will allow you to send, if it's a story, let's say you are in Goma area, or you are in the western part of Rwanda, you're able to send the story and sometimes receive direction from the editor on what he really wants you to do. So, and for computer uses, how do you ensure that you receive this information? You can receive this information by using emails, online chats, of course, file transfers, and file sharing. Nowadays, we have transfer file if it's a video, no matter the gigabyte or no matter the size, you're able to record your video, send it to the newsroom, and the newsroom is able to receive it immediately. I always give an example of what happened in when President Clinton visited Uganda in 1998. The local journalists, or the East African journalists, were busy filing the stories in Akasero, that is in the State House of President Museveni. And as they went back to the newsroom, they found the editor was going home, and they told them, "I have my story. Why are you going home and you have not filed my story?" The editor just told them, "Oh, me, I've already done the story. Why? I received the story via the Reuters and the journalists from US who were typing the story as they were sharing the information directly to the newsroom, and the information was again shared to the subscribing media houses that have subscribed." So that means journalists at that time, they were not using the new tools or the modern tools of the internet or the computer to file their stories, but these international journalists, they were already accessing this internet, and that's why they were able to file and compile the story with speed and send it to the newsroom as fast as possible. Then there is the issue of the World Wide Web. Remember, we have talked about it. So what is the World Wide Web? Generally, we abbreviate it as the web or www. Of course, remember it's a very large set of interlinked hypertext document which is able to link so many millions of computers worldwide and users worldwide via the internet. With the web browser, remember one can view a web page that may contain writing. So it may be a story that has been written, it may be an image that is a photo, it may be a video that has been done properly, and other multimedia, and navigate between them using hyperlink. We are able to navigate them via the World Wide Web. So it's important you know that when you talk of online journalism, the web and of course through the internet is a very essential tool that is essential for us. Now, I have few questions which I want you as a student to go and have a check on them. The first one is, what is the advantages of online journalism? The second one, what is the importance of studying online journalism as a media student? So what is the importance of studying online journalism as a media student? And the last one is, what are the qualities of an online journalist? What qualities do you need to have for you to work as an online journalist? So I may want you to research those questions, and then after researching them, make sure that you send us through our e-learning portal so that I can be able to access this information and grade them, and of course award some marks on it. Now, topic 2, basically what I want to talk about is publishing tools for online journalists. So which are these tools that
the assignment menu will come up and you'll be able to
from our short break. As I told you, in this topic we'll deal with publishing tools for online journalists, and we want to check some of the tools that journalists use when it comes to publishing online. One of these tools is what we call blog and content management system, and under this we'll be trying to talk about what is a blog, and of course some of the blogs that journalists use is like wordpress.com, blogger.com, typepad.com, and neartime.com. All these type of blog, as a journalist you can use them, and you can of course use this platform to share your news. It is my hope by the end of this course, because one of the things that you're supposed to have, and I will be marking, is to see the progress you are doing as a student in your blog. So I would expect you to open, mostly we usually use blogger.com or WordPress, but if you can be able to use typepad.com or neartime.com, it's also possible. Blogs are free, so we expect that you'll have your own blog, that is wordpress.com or blogger.com. Blogger.com. We expect you to have those platforms. So generally we'll be defining what is a blog, and as we all know, a blog is a free page that a journalist on whoever is working online is able to have, so that he can be able to record or publish information online. And as I told you, apart from blogs, which I expect you to have, you can also have what we call hosted or unstructured web pages. As a journalist, another tool that you can use is what we call unstructured web pages. It's this kind of unstructured web pages, they allow you to post anything you want without restricting you to a blog format. You see, for a blog format, though it's free, although there are those blogs that you can really pay, unstructured web pages, it allows you to design it the way you want, which is not the case with the blog. And what happens is, a journalist, when you talk of unstructured web pages, we actually recommend that you avoid being hosted for free. Avoid free, as somebody said, free things are very expensive. You should avoid free things. So do this, pay for a blog web page that is you can host yourself. And what happens in this free base, or these free webs, they look attractive, but they are not attractive. So of course they have an attractive advertisement, which may not be good for you as a owner of a blog. You need a blog that you can have control over it, and examples of such unstructured web pages that you can really use as a journalist, which are not in form of blog, like webhostingsearch.com, .servant.com, webbreakdown.com, wik.com, which actually is owned by Mid-Touch owner. So this is another tool that you can use. You can actually have your unstructured web page where you can of course design it from the scratch and you have it. But it's not to say that in a blog you cannot structure it, but in a hosted or unstructured web pages, it is important that it restricts you to format your page the way you want. Another tool that online journalists use is what we call multimedia, where what we call making multimedia. Remember, there are so many ways, not only posting pictures or whatever, but a multimedia tool allows you to upload videos, it allows you to upload text or stories, it also allows you to post videos. So the easiest way to take advantage of multimedia in your online journalism is to learn how to communicate using multimedia while you report. That's why we are telling our students, don't come to school or university only expecting to learn camera. You need to learn all media, be it radio, be it TV, be it typing. Don't say I don't want to write. For me, I just want to learn how maybe to read news. You need to practice and be able to do all the things that you can be able to do at the same time. Such that, because nowadays people, when they are hiring, especially the media house, they want somebody who can do a newspaper story, an online news story, somebody who can do a video, and at the same time this video is knows how to edit, somebody who can do a radio story, an audio story, and is able to edit audio. So it is important you learn how to edit photos through Photoshop and other platforms that are there. You know how to take photos, you know how to record a video, you know how to work with audio, because we are coming in what we call generation of trying to task, whereby you can be able to work for video, you can be able to work for audio, and you can still be able to do an online article. So then, of course, another tool that you need to do is how to put pictures on the web. Of course, there are different platforms that are provided for journalists, like Flickr.com, which let you upload images, tag them, that is, assign them categories that you define, place them in groups called sets, and then serve them out or share them out to your blog or website from Flickr. So Flickr is another important tool or important example of an important tool for pictures that you can be used for sharing pictures as a journalist. Sets can contain only your own pictures, but also pictures of other users on the site. And once you have placed the images and created sets, on Flickr you can directly, of course, link the image and create a HTML or Flash-based link to any of your sets called badge that can be hyped in an article or a web page. So you can be able to hype, or you can be able to link these pictures from the Flickr to any of your web page or any of your blog, which at the end of the day will do a good or a marvelous job of marketing and, of course, selling your work. Then putting video on the web. As we all know, I don't know whether you have put in a video somewhere, but mostly one of the most popular site that we usually use is YouTube. So youtube.com, of course, lets you to upload video to its tag servers, and tags you define yourself, then gives you HTML that you can use to embed the video on the web page or blogspot. So whether you have a blogspot, whether you have a web page, YouTube is a very important tool. You will upload your video, and then you can be able to reshare this video, be it in Facebook, be it in Twitter, or be it in any other channel. Even if it is your web page, you can be able to share this video using the youtube.com. And it's important you have your own YouTube channel that you can be able to share this information. Even in my work, the classes that I'm doing, I'll of course share this video via YouTube, then I'll share it through e-learning so that you can be able to access this information. So you need to learn how to use YouTube, that is upload videos on YouTube and be able to share them on your other pages or in your other web pages and blog spot. Then there is what you call creating RSS feeds. One of it we usually use del.ocious.us. That is a site that let you store bookmarks to website, assign them terms. That is categories like tags in free call YouTube, and then create RSS feeds for your bookmark, either en masse or by term. This allow you create RSS feeds for anything on the internet. So when you talk of RSS feeds, we are talking about storing bookmarks to website such that there is what you call word density. Whenever you are publishing, let's give an example, you are publishing a story on internet. Let's say you want to send it. And I'm using maybe the popular site for search like the Google. When I search the word for your article to appear first, it needs to have the highest density of the words that people actually search most. I want you to do this example. Think of a word that you may want to know about. Go to Google, search, write it. How many articles come there? They come over 1 million. But if your article has the highest density, you know, what happens is if you write a word with an article with high density of words, people are likely to browse and get it in the Google search as article 1, 2, 3. In most cases, even me, when I'm doing my research, the article that I click first is the article that comes first in the Google search. So that means that that article has the highest density of words. So whenever you're creating a story, you also need to think about the highest density of whatever article you're writing, such that whenever people are searching for this article, it can be linked properly. So what we are actually saying, when you're creating RSS feed, create an RSS feed that will be able to be searched very fast and be viewed by whoever is trying to search. So for today, I'll leave you there, but in the next lesson, we'll talk about more online tools, and we are going to begin with email newsletters, and of course, I'll give a highlight of the previous lesson before we go to the email and newsletters. Thank you for being with me today lesson, and I hope you use internet properly because we are changing. Don't stick with the traditional media. The new media is here with us and is here to make us better journalists, and also to help us to grow in a better way as professionals. Thank you and have a nice evening.